Hi, I'm Tom Burton and I'm the publisher for the Mandarin, and today we're talking with John Ellis. John is Chief Strategist for cybersecurity for Akamai for the APJ region. He's been speaking with a group here in Canberra today about the various elements, what he's seeing in cybersecurity developments, particularly in the region and across the network. Welcome, John.
Thank you, Tom.
John, today you talked about the resilient organisation and the need to tailor your organisation to be resilient for security. What did you mean by that?
Well, I think historically a lot of organisations, when they look at security, they typically look at investing in a lot of security technologies and processes and controls that's very much focused on mitigation. And we keep seeing so many examples of data breaches that are happening around the world, security incidents, so forth. And there's also another train of thought that's been evolving the last couple of years, focusing very much on incident response, saying, look, the breach or the security incident is inevitable, you need to focus on your incident response strategy. And what I'm sort of saying is that, look, there needs to be a blending together. Security incidents are inevitable, but we need to be looking at the right investments, we need to be looking at the right organisational constructs, the processes, and also the people to be able to build an organisation that can adapt, respond, and also withstand a lot of the disruptive events that are happening out there at the moment, so they can still keep moving forward to achieve their objective, whatever that may be.
Right. And you spoke about asked the question, I think, aligning your security investments with the threat environment. What were you leading at there?
Well, so if you ask a lot of people about, what you invested in last year in terms of security, did that really achieve the objective of what you're looking to achieve? Did you improve your security posture? A lot of people look at you with blank faces. They don't really know if the money they've been spending is actually improving their security. So the threat landscape that we have today is very different than what we had, say, 10 years ago. Interestingly enough, also a lot of the issues that we're dealing with 10 years ago haven't gone away. So patch management, software still fundamentally has vulnerabilities in it, people need to patch it, so you still need to look at your patch management regime, but also now we have a lot of different threats out there like DDoS attacks and all these web attacks that have really been growing in sophistication that people need to start thinking about. So essentially it's coming back and saying, okay, what's important to you? Where are investments being made? Are they actually delivering value to you? And if not, maybe redirecting your investment in areas that are actually going to yield some benefit.
Right. You talked about the various levels of spend various governments make. You travel around, you get a sense for that. You also quoted some numbers. What are the numbers? Should an agency be thinking, is there a magic percentage they should be spending on security?
That's a tough question. So, the numbers that I talked about in the presentation was 8% is mandated by the Israeli government for government agencies, 10% is the benchmark in Singapore for
security.
For security spend of the, so 10% of your ICT budget should be spent on security in Singapore. That's what the government's saying. And the numbers vary. I mean, some of the small, medium-sized businesses are spending upwards of 15%. The thing for me is not so much how much money you're spending, it's really where you're spending it to be able to improve the maturity of your organisation. So if you're spending all this money in the technology space, but you're not really improving the maturity of your security capability, then you could be saying that you're throwing money at the problem. Versus say you are spending wisely, you are improving your security, then you could say, hey, look, we've got some alignment that's happening here and we're able to move forward with a degree of confidence.
Is that what you meant when you said security really is a business issue, not a technology issue?
Absolutely. So you talk to a senior business leader and you ask them, do you understand about business risk, commercial risk, financial risk? The answer to all of these questions is yes, yes, yes. They have to. If they're a business leader, they have to understand these things. You ask them, do you understand about cyber risk? Invariably, they'll turn around to you and say, look, I have a CIO, maybe I have a CISO, they understand. That's not good enough. They need to also understand that this is another form of risk in their business, and also technology is an underpinning, it underpins a lot of what organisations are doing now. So there's a lot of organisations essentially being born in the cloud. You look at Airbnb, Uber, but also you look at the existing banks. I mean, how many of these banks could be successful without using technology? They couldn't. So getting them to understand that, hey, this thing called cyber risk is something that's important to them. And then we see a flow down from there.
The movement to digital delivery of services, to me, says this becomes much more important than previously, because we've had digital delivery for quite a while, but as we move industrially to provide, government services, through that main channel, then this really underlines the need for security.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you don't want security to be the driving force behind a lot of these things. You want it to be about what's the enabling qualities of all this technology, things like that. And around the world, I mean, different governments look at it very differently. But if you look at the benefits that are to be had, the constituents want to feel comfortable that the government's doing the right thing by them in terms of protecting their personal information. The services that they then become to rely on, depend on, are available when they need them to be available, things like that. So security is absolutely critical to being able to win that confidence and the trust. And an institution that already struggles with winning the confidence and trust of many people. Right.
One of the things you said today was the interesting concept that see security as an enabler that will allow you to go faster. And I think you use the analogy of a car that, if you've got a car that's well maintained, brakes are good, well, you can travel faster. What did you mean by that concept?
Well, so, okay, if I use the analogy of the car, right, are the brakes on the car designed to make a car go faster or slower, right? Well, the truth is that with the brake, quality brakes, you can go faster because you know that when something's going to happen, you can stop in time. All analogies at some point do break down. But if you look at investment in technology and supporting whatever the mission of the organisation is, whether it's a government agency, it's a commercial entity, whatever it may be, you need to also feel that there's a degree of confidence that the investment you made is protected. So if I'm investing here, I need to also ensure that I'm hedging against some of the risks that may also disrupt my organisation. So security gives you that confidence. If you're in a position where you can confidently say, hey, look, yeah, we've suffered a data breach, but we know that data is encrypted, and we know where the keys are to that data, and we know who's accessed those keys, and we can say with absolute certainty and confidence that those keys have not been accessed by an external third party, their cyber adversary, whatever it may be. You're in a stronger position, so you can actually ask the tough questions when those tough questions actually arise.
Right. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you.